Welcome, everyone, to California Speedway. Fontana, California, playing host to the season finale for the 7th HTL Cup Series season. We're glad you're with us as we get ready to crown a champion here tonight. 4 drivers with a hand on the trophy. Only one gets to lift that trophy up at the end of tonight. We're glad you're with us for HTL coverage on ABN. From pillar to post, lights to flag, here tonight. 3-day stretch of races from coast to coast, from Florida to California. RX High Octane, HTL Cup Series, and now the HTL Cup Series to end out the night. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this all plays out. Points, they are important. We've had this is the third of 3 races in the Championship 8. Those that are marked in gold are in that Championship 8. Hunter Peach, Josh Susie, Pacey Wygen, Blake Henderson are those in the topics of discussion. Very slim outside chances for Tucker Sawyer and Shad Swathworth going into tonight, but they need miracles throughout the entire race to make that happen. At the top, 1 point the difference between Hunter Peach and Josh Susie. It's a 12-point gap to Pacey Wygen, and then 28 points to Blake Henderson here tonight. 29 points, excuse me. So those 4 drivers are the focal point tonight. We'll see how this all plays out. Stage points on offer in both Stage 1 and Stage 2. Obviously, the race points will be a pretty critical component of the race tonight. Looking outside of the top 8, though, you look a little bit further down. Brent Roberts is down, have a great Championship 8 appearance. Neither is Josh Arnold. That kind of kicked off early in the Championship 8. You look at those in cyan, the light blue, Eli Sasek, Mark Kissenweather, missed out on making the Championship 8. They have been the best of the rest in the round of 16 as they were. Bailey Thompson sitting outside the top 10 in points, but not by much. That could change tonight. This race is chaotic in a regular season race, let alone with higher stakes as we see here tonight. Zach Apperson, Zach Meredith, Elias Flores, Cody Pennell, they make up the rest of the group. Cody Pennell has only started 1 race in the the playoffs here in the championship rounds. He is pretty firmly in that 16th position going through the rest of tonight. Then you have the best of the rest of those that did not make the playoffs. Taylor Smith Jr. has had that crown pretty well on lock. He is not able to lose that position. He is guaranteed 17th place tonight in Fontana. Byron Jones, Caitlin Height, Stephen Oberstadt. More interesting of a conversation. Bobby Blowers, Lily Sharp, Brady Smith, Alfred Denny around your top 24. 61 drivers have scored points in some variety here in Season 7. And you see more of those on the screen right now. Dale Markowski, 25th. Ross Baxter, Dustin Hall. You start looking at drivers that did not run full-time. You start looking at Lily Frazier, who jumped in part-time. Callie Height, who's been part-time. Christina Ryan, who's been really kind of exchanging that car with Dustin Hall, the number 1 machine, back and forth, and running the number 80 when they've both been on track. Gary Donaldson's been very quiet this season. Angel Santiago's been part-time. Sort of just running throughout the field here. You got, obviously, drivers that did not get to finish the season. Dean Clavitt, Josh Stoltz, Kevin Feemster, James Wright, Kyle Taub. You've got Austin Mongol, Jason Scott, Josh Gaiman, John Matthews in this group, KJ Gibney, Blake Galloway, Chelsea Carter, among others. And then a lot of your drivers that are not in this field right now. DJ Anderson making his first appearance of the season last week. Already in with 31 points. Finished top 10 last week. So an outstanding job for DJ Anderson. We'll see how things stack up here in Fontana. A home race for Anderson and the NFG Motorsport team. They're not only as a team motor for NFG Motorsports, but also to race on his own. There is 2 of his drivers go for a championship. And obviously John Smeal, 1 point, only made 1 appearance earlier in the season and ends up being the 61st car in our points scoring. We'll go ahead and bring up a couple of nifty little tools here that we got going on. Obviously, you've seen this before if you've watched before tonight. We have a little calendar overlay on the right side of your screen. Broadcast coming up here. No more HTL racing for the upcoming weeks. Next Saturday, next weekend, really, it is the ARCS High Octane Series from No Limits, Texas, and the HTL Cup Series from Bristol Motor Speedway. Hopefully, the off-season pretty brief. Expecting to see the Season 8 HTL Cup Series season start in May. So, off-season not too far away here for HTL, but also not too long of an off-season either. But that's not the most important topic. We have a live points leaderboard. So we talked about the top 4 in the championship conversation going into tonight. This is what that looks like. Well, top 4 will keep track of the stage points that are scored throughout the night, and you'll see all of that updated throughout the evening as we progress. Information bottom left of your screen. A lot of races here at Fontana. It has been a staple in HTL. 8th time we have been here as part of the HTL Cup Series. 6th time it's been in the playoffs. A lot of different race winners. Josh Susie, a 2-time winner of this race. Pacey Wygen has won here. Hunter Peach has won here. The only top 4 contender in the championship that has not won here is Blake Henderson. Could that change tonight? We'll find out. Stages, important to keep a note here. Lap 30, lap 60, no stage cautions unless there's an accident. If there is an accident within 5 laps of the end of the stage ends at the moment of caution, which is possible tonight. Fuel mileage. You can easily get through the first couple stages without too many complications. If it goes green throughout stage 1, you'll pit at the beginning of stage 2. You'll get through stage 2 just fine and then pit about 10 laps into stage 3 here tonight. Pit lane, it is tricky. We saw that last night in the HTL Cup Series. Even trickier with these flat-floored cars. But these drivers can handle it. We've been here before. We've been here this season. And obviously going in, there's your look at where the championship are right now. And again, we'll keep track of how that changes throughout the night. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your starting grid here in Fontana. And it is 2 championship contenders front and center in the field as they begin rolling off here in Fontana, California. Hunter Peach on pole position. And another Toyota. Not his teammate, though. Pacey Wygen in the front row for the start of tonight's race. Bobby Blowers, Eli Sasek provide a little bit of a buffer for the top 2 in line here. Remember, these 2 separated by a single point tonight. It can go either way, depending on how stage points play out. Every point counts tonight, especially. But Bobby Blowers and Eli Sasek give themselves a buffer here. Josh Susie, 3rd in points. Sorry, he's 2nd in points. Pacey Wygen's 3rd in points. Got that mixed up. Susie's 1 point behind going into tonight. He does have some work to do, but he can get it done. A 2-time winner of this race. Wygen, 12 points behind. Needs to grab some stage points in a pretty decent way. Ross Baxter, pole sitter last week. He still got speed here in Fontana. 6th place, back-to-back career best starting positions for the 38 camp for Carolina Beagle Racing. Christina Ryan inside row number 4 alongside John Matthews. They make up your top 8. Davis Field Jr. and Zach Meredith round out your top 10 here tonight. As I mentioned, Davis Field Jr. locked into 17th place in points. He's just doing this to support the team tonight. We'll see how much of an effect he has. His lone career win came right here last season. Bryn Roberts and Zach Apperson start outside the top 10. Row 6 for them. Row 7, Olivia Pereira and Dale Markowski. They make up 13th and 14th on the grid. Brady Smith and Chad Swatsworth, they are row number 8. Row 9, Stephen Oberstadt in a throwback car to his first attempt to race in HTL over 2 years ago. He's alongside Jason Scott, the rookie, in row number 9. Row 10 is Josh Arnold and Richard Odie III. They make up your top 20. Callie Height, her last race for the foreseeable future in the 87 car. Tucker Sawyer alongside her in row 11. Hopefully Callie Height can have better luck to end out her HTL career than what she's had the last time we saw her on the racetrack a few weeks ago. Byron Jones, Alfred Denny, they sit in row 12, 23rd and 24th on the grid. Caitlin Height, winningest driver in HTL Cup Series history, starts in row 13, further down the order, alongside Patrick Oberstadt. Caitlin Height was suspended a week for comments made post-race in Chicagoland. Back on track here tonight. We'll work from 25th. Bailey Thompson and Gary Donaldson make up row 14 in the field. And your last row is Blake Henderson at the back of the field and DJ Anderson. Henderson, one of those that crashed during qualifying, will have the most work to do at a time where he is hoping to make the most happen. 29 points away from the points lead going into tonight. Coverage tonight presented by Henderson Graphics. NASCAR quality without the NASCAR prices. We appreciate them supporting us here tonight. 30 cars. Ambitions for championship gold. We're underway in California. Hunter Beach leads lap number 1 over Casey Wygant, Eli Sasek, and Josh Susie. Susie up 1 spot already from 5th on the grid. Down the back straightaway they go. Toyotas lock out the top 5 into turns 3 and 4. Your best Chevrolet in 6th, that's Ross Baxter. Your best Ford, there's 2 of them. It's the 1 of Christina Ryan, and the 17 is Zach Meredith. Back-to-back there in the top 10. This race will transition into nighttime. We're already in the dusk conditions here in California. It will transition to nighttime during stage 1 into the start of stage 2. You already see the sun pretty well set behind the mountains here on the outskirts of LA. Line of stern for the first few cars here. So the Winstone Cup Series, hot in the daytime. All 5 different lanes taken up in the Winstone Cup Series last night. The track cools down a significant amount, and suddenly those lanes shrink. You go from wanting to run all 5 lanes to trying to condense yourself down to a couple lanes. You see that right now. A couple of people trying the very far wide line up near the fence. That was Zach Meredith, the first one up there. But not many takers up there at the moment. We'll see if that changes. This track is a bit of an inverse to normal methodology. Tire saving is a critical component of the 7th generation car. Typically, you want to run the outside lane. You want to keep momentum up. You want to avoid burning up the brakes. You want to avoid scrubbing the tires. Here, because the track is so wide and because the banking is steep enough, the inside lane is protecting the tires and the outside lane is bumpier and therefore more abrasive against those Goodyear tires. So it is a flip of the normal conventional thought process for these 7th generation cars. We saw a lot of tire saving yesterday in the Winstone Cup Series as well. Everyone kind of gravitated to the bottom of the racetrack. Inversely, watching vehicles race at Homestead, Miami or Chicagoland, the outside lane was the lane to be in across the entire night. You'll see that difference throughout the night as well. Those that adjusted at the best will do the best. Casey Wygant takes over the lead. First lead change of the California 400 is between the 2 championship contenders. Hunter Peach, we saw him drop all the way back down to 4th place. Make that 5th place. Zach Meredith on the charge here as well. A disappointing season for the 17 camp. Ended last season the hottest of any driver in the field in season 6. Missed the playoffs altogether. Sorry, didn't miss playoffs, but missed the championship 8. Got to the round of 16, and that was it for Zach Meredith. This was the set of races, these last 3 races, where Meredith looked like he could be a strong contender. He's a phenomenal driver at this racetrack in particular. We're seeing that right now, already up to 3rd. Again, those marked in gold are in the championship conversation. Realistically, you're looking at 4. Wygant, Susie, Peach, and Henderson. Henderson's already made it into the top 20. He started this race 29th in the field. He's already up to 20. He's gained 9 spots so far. He knows time is of the essence. He needs stage points and a lot of them. And right now, the top 5 not making it easy. His main competitors are all at the top of the board, completing lap 7. For those watching live, we appreciate you being with us here tonight, here on ABN for the HTL Cup Series season finale in Fontana, California. Coming on to complete lap number 8. It is Josh Susie who has now got to the front of the field. Qualified this race in 5th. Battles now with Pacey Wygant for that top spot. Wygant led the line. Susie tried to grab a lap lead. Will not be this time. Wygant gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Susie up near the wall. 3 lanes in the middle. And the outside lane is king right now. Susie clear of Wygant and out front here in California. He knows how important the stage points are. He's a 2-time champion looking for his 3rd here tonight. Pacey Wygant, a HTL Truck Series champion, looking to be the first driver and so far only driver to win both titles. Car in the fence was Eli Sassick. And he will drop out of the top 10. He got loose, it looks like. I'm not seeing a lot of damage on that 9 machine. But Ascent Racing's leader will drop out of the top 10. And will drop behind. That is Ross Baxter. That is Stephen Oberstadt in the 3. And John Matthews. And here comes the 88. Patrick Oberstadt. Both Oberstatts, the brothers, racing together. 3 in the 88. Both of them on the charge as well. Stephen up 4 spots. Patrick up 11. At this juncture after 10 laps in California. Susie remains out in the front. Wygant giving pursuit. Outside lane carries more momentum here. We've seen that a lot too. And Wygant will have to slot back into the top lane behind Susie. Susie runs a little bit lower on the racetrack in 3 and 4. Meredith goes up top. He's looking to leapfrog for some positions. Doesn't work the same way. Wygant tagged the wall there at 4 that time. A little contact. It slows him up, and it allows both Peach and Meredith to get on through. And don't blink. You got the 54. That Reese's 54 sitting in the 6th spot, battling Bobby Blowers. Blowers in the 71 that we saw fielded by Lily Frazier earlier in the season. Blowers in that car right now. Outlaw Esports looking to maybe become a 3-car team in Season 8. That way they can fit Matthews, Blowers, and Lily Frazier into the team. They also have in the wings Tristan Bayer, who has substituted at a couple times this season. Ross Baxter still the best Chevrolet in the field, but he's dropped down to 10th place as it was a week ago. The pace in the race just hasn't been there for the 38 as it has been in qualifying. He has been phenomenal the last couple races in qualifying. His first career pole a week ago. Showing some real noticeable signs of growth in that 38 car. But now the entire Carolina Beagle Motor Racing team is sort of falling backwards a little bit here. They had some pace initially, but now they're regressing down into the mid-pack. Patrick Oberstadt 13th. Stephen Oberstadt's already dropped down to 18th place. Blake Henderson's made up another spot around Cali Height for 19th on the racetrack. beginning lap 15 here in California. It is Josh Susie, Hunter Peach, and Casey Wygant, top 3. Casey Wygant struggling with balance a little bit in that double zero. Now under threat from Zach Meredith for that 3rd spot. That first round of pit stop is going to be pretty critical and getting some adjustments made. Wygant 12 points back from the top of the board here. Cannot afford to spend too much time losing spots and losing points. He'll lose a decent on stage 1 if this holds up. Meredith up into the top of the fence, outside lane, not as effective in 3 and 4. We've seen that time and time again. Wygant gets back up into the 3rd spot. Here comes the 71 of the double zero. These two raced really hard in negative consequences a week ago. Former friends, now not so much. Side by side, a little contact between the two into 1 and 2. That time, Blowers gets clear for 3rd. Wygant down the 4th once again. Sandwich between Blowers and Meredith. Davis Mills Jr. in the 6th spot. Shad Swatsworth up to 8th. Sorry, up to 7th place. Christina Ryan in 8th. Davis Mills Jr. running at the moment in that 6th spot. Wants to be top 5. Remember, his lone win. Trouble for the line. Put a pause on that. Trouble. And it is the 33 of Dale Markowski. And the 60 of Byron Jones. Both of them involved in the opening contact tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what happens. And we'll grab the good old handy-dandy blimp cam, ABN quarter speed, slow motion. 33 of Markowski. That's the 25 of Henderson. It looks like they just get tight. Henderson not really able to check up more than he already was. Gets to the back of Markowski. It doesn't take much to spin him around in front of the nose of Byron Jones, and both of them go for a ride through the infield. And Markowski almost got hit a couple times there. A little sketchy there. Looks like Kelly Height got involved here. We'll see what happened to the 87 machine. This is not Kelly Height wrecking. This is Kelly Height getting spun. The field checking up on the back straightaway. And it looks like it was Brady Smith that got into it. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look from onboard Blake Henderson's machine at how this all played out. Full speed. Yeah, not a whole lot Blake can do there on that one, unfortunately. Running on board with the number 14 machine, or sorry, the 25 machine, now in 14th. But I do want to see what happened here to Callie Height as she got spun. That is not Callie Height. That is Blake Henderson still. Did she get turned by this 27? Yeah. Everyone checked up. And Brady Smith got collected in that as well. So Brady Smith wasn't the one that made contact with Kelly Height initially. That was Bailey Thompson. But a little bit of damage on the 87 machine, and the bad luck continues for the Wilfredo Motorsports driver. And what will be her last race in HTL. Hoping for a little bit better luck. So far has not had it. Getting ready to go back racing here. There will be 10 laps to go in stage 1. And more importantly, Blake Henderson now within reach of that top 10. Row 7 is where he's at. Hunter Peach, Josh Susie, front and center in this field. Pacey Weiss and Bobby Blowers side by side. That is going to be an interesting row 2. Davis Smith Jr., Christina Ryan in row 3. Then it's Tucker Sawyer, Zach Meredith, Chad Swatsworth, and Ross Baxter, your top 10 at the moment. Okay, so I'll take the left-hand turn down the pit lane. 10 laps to go in stage number 1. All 30 cars still rolling and all of them on the lead lap. Let's go racing once again. First restart underway. Wygant shadowing Hunter Peach and Josh Susie. Peach, the race leader. Josh Susie in second. They swap positions during the pit stops. All three of them got away from Flowers, Smeal, and Ryan. Christina Ryan, feeling on top of the world, finished third in the HTL Cup Series race last night. Can she go back-to-back? We'll find out. Battling with Zach Meredith at the moment. 9 to go, stage 1. Henderson in the top 10. All 4 of your championship contenders with a shot. Peach leads the way, trying to double the gap he has to Josh Susie. I showed it to you before. Here it is again. Hunter Peach and Josh Susie separated by tonight, entering by 1 point. 10 points offered for a stage win. 9 points for second in stage 1. These two battling it out pretty substantially. Teammates as well. That should be mentioned. These two are teammates for NFG Motorsports. Not so much for Pacey Wygant, who has dropped back down to 5th place. And apparently adjustments not working out in his favor so far, as he is still trying to battle back. He is now behind Meredith, battling with Davis Smith Jr., who's not going to give him anything here. That's the 3rd NFG Motorsports machine in the top 10. And Wygant's just going to lose more spots and time. Here comes teammate Tucker Sawyer, who is not in the championship conversation at the moment. Side-by-side teammates. Susie looking to the bottom of the racetrack. Peach up top. Susie drives it in deep there through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 we saw effective on the outside lane. 3 and 4 effective on the bottom. And Susie back out front. Drivers free to engage for the championship here tonight. Henderson has made it up into the 8th spot. He is closing in on Wygant. He is still behind Peach and Susie, which are the top targets for the championship contenders. 4 laps to go in stage 1. Susie with Peach right on his bumper, too. That's one thing. Rule number 1 in motorsports is still don't wreck your teammate. Even when a championship's on the line, you still don't want to wreck your teammate. But they are going to race a little bit harder than they have because they know what's at stake, and it is between the two teammates at the moment, with Wygant not really able to close in, and Henderson, despite making up spots, keeping out of the 25, he could be a factor later on in this race for the race win, but he still needs help with these top 3 in the points, not scoring points in stage 2, and having poor races throughout the rest. And that seems very difficult at the moment. Clock continues to speed up here as we get closer to the end of stage 1. You see the lights fully on, sun fully submerged behind the mountains. Hunter Peach up near the fence. I think he was in the fence there. And it's not going to help his case right now. 2 laps to go, and as it sits, there is now a tie at the top of the board between Josh Susie, the 3-time champion, and Hunter Peach. Unless Peach can find a way around the 24 in these next couple laps to double his gap on the 24. Meredith sitting comfortably in 3rd. Davis Moon Jr. in 4th. Drivers shadowing each other here at the front of the field. Coming to the white flag here in stage number 1. Up in the fence again is Peach. She's struggling to match the pace that Josh Susie's been setting. And the more you're up in the fence, the more detrimental it will be to your race car. That is for sure. 3/10 the gap. Just like that, it's now tied at the top. Josh Susie wins stage number 1 over Hunter Peach. Casey Wygant scores 6 points. Henderson scores 4 points. Kind of bring that up on your screen to show you where everyone's at the moment. It is now level footing between your championship contenders right now. Casey Wygant loses ground, so does Henderson, but all 4 of them in the top 10. Still a fighting chance in your top 4 for the championship. Susie leads the way over Hunter Peach still. Pit stops took place on lap 18, as we mentioned. We'll show the bottom graphic there. Fuel mileage window gets you about 36 laps thereabouts on a tank of fuel. That gets us to beyond lap 50. Looks like lap 51 to lap 54 would be the next cycle of 4 pit stops as things sit. Side-by-side battle for 3rd between Meredith and Davis Mills Jr. Wygent in the top 5 still. There's Eli Sasek right there behind him. Blake Henderson's made his way up into the 7th spot. Ahead of Bobby Blowers. Blowers side by side with Chad Swatsworth. Christina Ryan down in the 10th spot in the number 1 machine. Watching this 3-way battle in front of her. Henderson is your biggest mover so far, up 22 spots. Again, from 29th on the grid to 7th right now. An impressive run so far. The next closest is Caitlin Height, who is up 12 from where she started. She is now up to the 13th place from 25th on the grid. Right now battling with Tucker Sawyer for the 12th spot at the moment. Susie and Pete continue to battle it out, and they continue to pull a gap on Zach Meredith. 8/10 is the calling card now at the top of the board. Bottom of the racetrack for Hunter Peach. Top of the racetrack for Josh Susie as the teammates sail it through turns 1 and 2 together. Meredith closing in a couple tenths as these two battle it out. Peach almost clear, not quite. But he has the favorable lane going into turns 3 and 4. We've seen that so far tonight, too. Josh Susie just drives it in deeper through the middle of the corner. I think Susie just has the advantage right now on where Hunter Peach is at. It gets right to the bottom. This is going to be interesting. Bottom of the racetrack back to the top. We said it was weapons-free. The system's engaged, target acquired in this dogfight at the front of the field, and that's what that looks like. That is no holds barred at the moment between the two teammates that know a championship is more important at the moment, and they're going to race like it. Peach sitting at the front. Just behind Josh Susie. Zach Meredith got a little loose out of turns 3 and 4. Got himself a little loose there. We'll lose some time. Susie goes all the way to the apron, back up near the wall to get a good entry into turns 1 and 2. Wygent goes to the middle, now drifts all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get a really wide run to close in, and that is fantastic for Hunter Peach. Textbook there through 1 and 2. See if he can try to do the same thing here in 3 and 4. Gets a little lower. Susie just a lot better in 3 and 4 at the moment than where Hunter Peach is at. Peach better in 1 and 2, but you don't score the points off of 1 and 2. You score the points on the front straightaway out of 3 and 4. Junior under threat from Pacey Wygent. Maybe long run speed beginning to play a factor here. Very bumpy back straightaway. We see the sparks flying off the back of these cars. The flat floors and the diffuser in the 7th generation machines don't handle bumps very well. And this track is very old and abrasive. The seams and the rubber fill-ins aren't for nothing. This is a track that is not far away. Small car ride from the San Andreas Fault. The bumps are part of this racetrack. Part of why it's such a favorite racetrack, even in nighttime conditions. We heard from the drivers about how difficult it was passing at Chicagoland a couple weeks ago and some of these other tracks that have had nighttime races, and how difficult it is because it narrows it down to a single lane. It makes it harder to pass because you don't have the ability to drive yourself out of a corner. You still have that here, despite the fact that the track is cool and we're under the lights and it's nighttime. You still have that because this track is just so much older and so much more abrasive than the likes of Chicagoland or Kansas to really focus on it. And you're seeing that there. It is still difficult. Nighttime racing still makes it difficult to make passes happen. But you just saw Davis Mills Jr. make it happen. Got right there in front of Zach Meredith, closed the door, and it's a 3-car fight at the front. And it's for this 3rd spot. And Pacey Wygen will take advantage and move up a spot up to 4th. Lap 60, the next target for stage points here, the end of stage 2. Wygen's still not happy in that car. You can tell he's still chasing that car around a little bit through 1 and 2. But he is hanging in there with Davis Mills Jr. It is an NFG Motorsports 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Battles further back. This battle to get to the top 10. Battle for 9th. Steven Oberstadt, Christina Ryan, and here comes Caitlin Height. All 3 lanes in use. Oberstadt in the middle. Height on the bottom. Christina Ryan up to the fence, and Christina Ryan loses out on another spot, and out of the top 10 she falls for a moment down the back straightaway. Some early pit stops have taken place. Gary Donaldson is in pit lane for some repairs. Chad Spotsworth, standard pit stop for the number 6 machine. He is back out and away a lap down. Front of the field spreading out a little bit as the long run continues. It is still door to door for a bunch of cars here out of the top 10. Caitlin Height in 10th, everyone else behind her out of the top 10 looking to find a way in. And this is a who's who in this mid-pack. Patrick Oberstadt, Christina Ryan, Ross Baxter, Zach Apperson. That's the 83 of Brent Roberts. You got Byron Jones not far away from this group. That is Bailey Thompson and Josh Arnold all in this cluster. Henderson falling back a little bit. He has now lost a spot to Steven Oberstadt. Remember, pit stops in this stage. You will have pit stops in this stage. We've seen a couple so far early. One for damage, one for an actual fuel and tire stop. Chad Spotsworth, pit from the top 10. Pit stops not far away. Do you make a stop early? That becomes a question. If you're Blake Henderson, I think you consider it. You have to points race here. Stage points are important, and you need that extra time. He had one of the faster cars in the field, but he's burned up his Goodyear tires. From the broadcast booth, it looks easy for me to say, if you're Henderson, pit early. Because he knows what he has to do. He's more than 3 seconds away from the race leader, and we saw it last night in the HTL Cup Series race how important tires are here. You can leapfrog and gain several positions. You can gain several seconds with a 2-lap undercut. I think Henderson has to think about that tonight as the furthest man away from the championship conversation in that top 4. Got points in stage 1. That's great. It wasn't enough. Your main components, your main competitors, were all in front of you. You've got to flip the table somehow, some way. Take that gamble, pit early, see what you can do. But you would have to make that decision, I think, in the next couple laps. Otherwise, you're just not going to gain all that time. He has struggled to stay in touch with Steven Oberstadt. He is losing more time to the race leaders, now 3.7 seconds away from Hunter Peach at the front of the field. Very important at the moment for Henderson to think a little bit forward here. Pacey Wygen struggling as well. Josh Susie is really struggling. He has dropped down to the 4th spot. Lost out to Davis Mills Jr., and now he's lost out to Bobby Blowers. Blowers now in the 3rd position. 4th place now for Josh Susie. Zach Meredith dropped down as well. He is down in 5th. Pacey Wygen now closer to Josh Susie in that 6th spot. But now it's back firmly in the hands of Hunter Peach as he leads this race, coming to 12th to go in stage 2. Steven Overstat battling with Eli Sasek. He has got a long run car behind him at the moment. A little bit of contact. Whoa! Eli Sasek tried to door check the 3 and bit himself with it. The two make contact out of turn 2. Overstat held his ground. Sasek tried to bite him back, and instead he will lose about a second in that fight. And here comes Henderson. Henderson is undercutting, and so is Christina Ryan. The Tombstone cars coming in, at least a couple of them. So will Tucker Sawyer. Pit window is open. I think he pit a little later than I would have liked him to pit. We'll see what the leaders do. Now that they know that Henderson is coming down pit lane, that is one of your championship contenders, one of your top 4 in that conversation. What do your race leaders do? Do they leave that unchecked? 4 seconds was the gap Henderson has to close. An undercut helps him do that, helps him flip the table in stage 2, looking for those stage points. Leader stays out. So does Josh Susie, so does Pacey Wygant. They stay out. They're overcutting here. Meredith's in. Baxter is in. They are worried about a caution. A caution would pin those that are pitting early a lap down. They are worried about the caution. We had a lot of drivers in Winstall last night worried about a caution as well. The caution that didn't come. And it flipped the script for a lot of drivers that worried and never saw the exchange for that work. The undercut worked out to a phenomenal degree. It's what got Christina Ryan on the podium. It's what got Emily Howe on the podium. Jacob Potek was able to survive and come back to win that race last night. We're seeing that to a degree again here tonight. More cars down pit lane. Callie Height and DJ Anderson down pit lane as Meredith and Baxter are leaving pit lane right now. And again, cars staying out at the moment. Your top 3 in the championship have stayed out on the racetrack. They are extending the fuel mileage. That is the talking point at the moment. Peach, Susie, Wygant. And it is Peach out and ahead of Blowers. Blowers closing in. He's got a long run car at the moment. He has closed into second place here. He would like to grab a race win. Davis Mills Jr. not far away. And there's not a whole lot Davis Mills Jr. can do. His top 2 teammates right now are in that championship conversation. They are in that championship fight. And right now, Peach is winning that conversation as it sits. Henderson came down pit lane early. He is now sitting 23rd. We'll see how the pit lane cycle flips through. More cars need to make pit stops here in this stage before we get to lap 60. That is the number everyone is trying to hit. Nobody that has stayed out so far can make it to lap 60 without a stop for fuel. A lot of cars off the lead lap at the moment. That will change as this run advances. Eli Sasek down the pit lane. He pits for the top 10. Peach, Flowers, Smeal, Susie, Wygant, your top 5 here in Fontana so far tonight. 7 to go in stage 2. They are cutting it close. Last lap, Hunter Peach, 40.64. Blake Henderson, 39.7. Almost a full second difference. And the longer they go, the better it looks for Blake Henderson. Meredith's in front of him. Christina Ryan's in front of him. But if this continues, they will cycle to the front of the field when this exchange takes place. The question is, when do the leaders come down pit lane? Peach, Blowers, Smeal, and Susie. Wygant's dropped another spot, dropped down to Steven Overstat. Your battle for the race lead on your screen. Bobby Blowers looking for the race lead for Outlaws Esports. Not in that championship conversation. Would just love to have a race win. And so far, he is on his path. He's got the long run car to do it. And they are coming down the pit lane right now. Both of them are coming down pit lane on lap 55. New race leader is Steven Overstat. No bonus points for leading a lap. But Pacey Wygant right behind him, staying out an extra lap. Susie came down pit lane as well. Davis Mills Jr., Patrick Overstat, Dale Markowski, Alfred Denny, all down pit lane in addition here. So 11 cars have stayed out so far. Make that 8 with Brady Smith. Sorry, 12 with Brady Smith. And we'll see the field completely flip here over the next couple laps. Steven Oberstadt leads the way in that number 3. As he sails through 3 and 4 and will come down pit lane. Pacey Wygant will get around him. And your new race leader, not for points, is Pacey Wygant, who is looking to try to extend as far as he can. He would love to get to lap 60. I don't think he can. Caleb Height comes down pit lane. Most of those that had stayed out are down pit lane this time. 4 cars have yet to come down pit lane. Wygant, Arnold, Roberts, Brady Smith will join the pit lane party. So now 3 cars at the front of the field, top and center on the board, have yet to come down pit lane. Wygant in that championship conversation cannot go to lap 60. Neither can Roberts or Arnold in that top 3. Hunter Peach cycles back out ahead of Zach Meredith and Blake Henderson and Bobby Blowers. But Henderson does get ahead of Smeal, ahead of Susie, and will likely get ahead of Pacey Wygant. Your top 3 down the pit lane right now. Here is Richard Odie, who missed his box. Richard Odie missed his box. He came down pit lane. This is him exiting pit lane. He missed his box. He had to go back around. And he's going to come down pit lane again. So he's going to lose a lot of time here. He's going to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Not a lot to say there for him. Hunter Peach, Zach Meredith side by side, entering turns 3 and 4. Peach on his own at the front of the field, exiting turns 3 and 4. Wygant, Roberts, and Arnold leading pit lane right now. They will not hold on to the front of the field. And you're going to see that pass for the race lead, bottom of the racetrack. There's Wygant in the 0-0. Wygant, 46 seconds on pit lane. He took 2 tires. He took 2 tires only on that pit stop. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the only driver to have done so. Bailey Thompson speeding on pit lane. Penalty to serve. Peach leads the way. Susie down in 9th place. So the gap's going to open up pretty substantially here. If Peach can hold on to this stage lead, coming to the white flag in stage number 2. Wygant in 2nd. Helps him against Josh Susie. Josh Susie's not the points leader. Hunter Peach is. White flag, stage 2. And your top 4 in the championship are all in the top 10. Josh Susie in 9th, the furthest back. Henderson pit first. He is up in the top 5. But that's not enough. Not with the top 2 as they are. Hunter Peach has a little over 6/10 the gap to Pacey Wygant. Wygant will try to drive in deep. The issue is that Wygant's compromised in stage 3. He's taken 2 tires. He is compromised in stage 3. Hunter Peach wins stage number 1. But that does not help him at all. Henderson loses out on 5th place. He gets 5 points there. But it doesn't help him out there. Josh Susie only scores 2 points. So Hunter Peach wins stage 2 after Josh Susie took stage 1. And that's how the points now look. Live look at the points there. Hunter Peach now leads by 8 points over Josh Susie. That is a tall ask for Josh Susie now to overcome that. Pacey Wygant gains on Susie, loses on Peach again. Gonna start needing miracles here, Wygant and Henderson, at this particular stage. Not impossible, just more improbable at this point. 29 cars still circulating. Gary Donaldson out of this race since lap 36. and it is now a lot more clear. Stage points now out of the way. Susie's got a... Susie has tiebreaker. He has race wins this year over Hunter Peach. Susie has more wins. But he still needs to finish 8 positions better than Hunter Peach right now. You can beat him by 1 or 2. That's easy if you're Josh Susie. You have to beat him by 8. If you win, he has to finish 8th or worse to be champion. And this is a driver who, under green flag conditions, has not been any lower than 3rd. That's difficult. Henderson feeling the effects of coming down pit lane early. He is now down and battling with Josh Susie for the 6th spot. Susie has the fresher tires. Christina Ryan also came down pit lane with Henderson here. And Ryan's also got better pace right now than the 25 does. So that's important to sort of denote in this conversation, is that it's not the early stop itself, when Christina Ryan's also holding pace pretty well. There's also Caitlin Height in the top 10. Zach Apperson also in the conversation as well. Very familiar faces together here at the fringe of the top 10. Susie got a little loose. Just a little bit. Christina Ryan playing the teammate game, helping Henderson get out ahead. Caitlin Height, former teammate with Josh Susie when they worked with Lady Liberty Motorsports, helping Susie recover a little bit. Pretty big battle here. Wygen has closed the gap in a little bit. He is now within 3/10 of the front of the field. They have 24 cars on the lead lap still. 5 cars circulating a lap down. 1 car in pit lane is Zach Meredith. Right. That is for damage. He's got damage on that 17 car. Can we get a camera on that 17 machine? Don't have a lot of good cameras, do we? Not sure where the damage is unless it's on the left side. He must have spun and hit the inside wall somewhere out of turn 2, I would believe. But he has had trouble, and I think we have a replay as to what happened to Zach Meredith. And this is a look at why from high above. This is above the broadcast booth here, and he gets loose. And he's going to hit the wall, I think, pretty hard here. Yep, and hits it on the driver's side, which is why we couldn't see it from the spotter camera on the front straightaway. Can we get a good look here? Yeah. Oh, that car is completely toast. There's a good look at the damage. That is, in a practical sense, day done for Zach Meredith. And indeed it is. He has retired of the race at this point. Pacey Wygen out in front, taking over the race lead through 3 and 4. We caught the very tail end of that. Oh, Wygen in the fence. Trouble for Pacey Wygen. We stay green. Wygen was trying to get cleared at the front of the field. I don't know if he was. We'll grab a replay here in a moment. But a huge impact at a turn 4 for Pacey Wygen, and you see the damage on the passenger side. And Wygen not happy. The question is, with the contact with Hunter Peach, how much did Peach receive in damage? And Wygen's going to come down pit lane. We'll see if we can grab a replay here for you to watch. And this is from the blimp cam Looking at Pacey Wygant, the 00. Bren Roberts in the not Bren Roberts. Hunter Peach in the 20. Oh, that's not even on Hunter Peach at all. Let's go back to that. Another look here live at Pacey Wygant. Slides up the racetrack. I want to focus on Hunter Peach, your race leader here. Right on board with him. We'll do it AB in slow motion. Hunter Peach still leads the way now by 1.5 seconds. Wygant slides up and just gets loose. You see him begin to step out. That car skews away from the wall. He gets loose, and then up into the fence he goes. A little bit of damage on that passenger side nose for Hunter Peach, but not a lot of deformation. And unfortunately, that has nothing to do with Hunter Peach getting into Pacey Wygant. That is Pacey Wygant sliding up the racetrack and losing grip. And that is unfortunate for Pacey Wygant, who was in need of help to try to get to the championship conversation. That conversation now completely done. And completely done and dusted at this point. He is back out on the racetrack, but he is now 2 laps down. We were down to 22 cars on the lead lap. Chad Spotsworth, early pit stop for him, lap 69. Pacey Wygant now joining that accordion on lap 69 as well. Not related. We saw the incident with Wygant there. 22 cars, lead lap. Jason Scott, the last car running on the lead lap there in 22nd for Joe Show Racing. So Wygant leads the way. Blowers closing in. Was 1.5, now 1.0 in that gap. The hope is that Peach isn't negatively affected too awful much by the damage received from the 00. But Josh Searcy is climbing. He is now in 4th. He is still 5 seconds adrift as this fight continues in this group. Caitlin Height right there with them. There is Steven Oberstadt in this group as well. Bren Roberts is here. But he still has a lot of work to do. And remember, it's not just beating Hunter Peach. You've got to beat him by 8 positions. You've got to somehow get Hunter Peach to finish 8th or lower and still win the race. Olivia Pereira down pit lane on lap 74. Hunter Peach leads the way over Bobby Blowers by over a second. Your top 5 on your screen right now. 50 laps to go here in Fontana, California. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds for a refreshment break. Don't go anywhere. More to come here on ABN from Fontana after this. Hunter Peach leads the way here in Fontana, California, front and center on your screen, looking for his first career championship in the HTL Cup Series. It has not been easy for Hunter Peach, but he leads the way by a pretty good margin at the moment. Bobby Blowers in the 2nd position, Josh Searcy in 3rd, Dennis Miller Jr. in 4th, Caitlin Height now in the top 5 as former teammates battle it out there at the front of the field. In fact, we'll take a look here as you see the battle for that position. Less than 50 to go here in the California 400. Hunter Peach leads the way by a little over 6/10. Josh Susie still 5 seconds adrift of his teammate as both try to battle for a championship. Susie looking for his third, now seems to be slipping that grip on the championship trophy. Hunter Peach now with both hands on it, just waiting for the ability to be able to lift it above his head tonight. Car in the fence, Davis Mills Jr., the 54. Byron Jones there in that number 60 machine, battling tight with Steven Oberstadt. As Bryn Roberts and Caitlin Height watch on. Outstanding race so far tonight. We've only had one caution tonight, and that was on lap 17. And that was for the incident between Dale Markowski and Byron Jones. Those were all been pretty straightforward. We were concerned that this race would be chaotic and in a miserable way, as it has been before. Season 3 comes to mind, I think, when we talk about chaotic in a miserable way. That was not a fun race. We have had a very fun race tonight. Long run pace has mattered to a significant degree. Whoa! And as we say it, trouble, Davis Mills Jr. and Steven Oberstadt. And we stay green. Good recovery by both. But both of them now with battle scars. And just like with Pacey Wygen a little bit ago, Davis Mills Jr. wears the worst of it. And Smeal is down pit lane. "21 cars on the lead lap at the moment as things sit. J.J. Anderson is out. Zach Meredith is out. Gary Donaldson is out of this race, as is Richard Odie. He retired after lap 75. 4 retirements, 26 still running here in Fontana. Pacey Wygen, the last car still running. 2 laps down. We now have 20 cars on the lead lap. Davis Mills Jr., with repair work being done, joins the lap down queue. Flowers is closed in within 3/10 of your race leader. Josh Susie's car, no long run pace in this 24 car at all at the moment. He's also battling, that is fair, battling with Byron Jones, battling with Caitlin Height and Roberts in this conversation, but he has lost pace. He has had the ability to walk away from this group, and he just hasn't been able to. Byron Jones now in that 3rd spot. We'll talk about Zach Meredith, his retirement. He has gone to be able to help Byron Jones now as he continues his race here late on as we get ready to approach 40 laps to go here in not too many laps. And yeah, Josh Susie's car is falling apart. He just got left in the dust by Caitlin Height. And had it not been for the fact that Bryn Roberts was stuck behind him, I think Bryn Roberts would have sent him to Gap Abyss as well. Something is amiss long run wise on the 24. That is not an issue on the 20, although Hunter Peach has been passed by Bobby Blowers. This is similar to what happened in stage 2 before the pit stops took place. Blowers took over right before coming down pit lane. Now he's gotten to and gone around him before those pit stops. Blowers, the 71 team, looks to have the best long run pace at the moment, but Hunter Peach is not worried about that so much. He is worried about the championship. The 71, not his conversation, not his fight in the slightest. Blowers leads the way. Byron Jones in third. Caitlin Height up to the fourth spot. Laps to go here. At least one more pit stop to get to the end. Depending on when that pit stop happens. Last pit stop was on about lap 55, lap 56. We're not far away from those pit stops. Now, this is going to be close. I would assume you want to stretch it out a little bit longer here. So 88 to 91 is the pit window for most of the field. So we're still not in that window yet. It's within window. That gets you within 35 to go. Yeah, this will be the last pit stop for those that have not yet come down pit lane. You do worry about Tucker Sawyer, who came down pit lane on lap 49. A couple early takers here. Ross Baxter, Callie Height down pit lane. So they're coming in now. And this is the very edge of being able to make it on one stop. So that makes sense. Caitlin Height trying to reel back in Byron Jones. While also dealing with Bren Roberts and Josh Susie. Battle between two familiar foes. Whoa, trouble! Trouble! Trouble behind. And that is, I believe... That looked like Patrick Oberstadt that was in the grass. It is. And so our second caution of the night, mid-cycle, right as Blake Henderson and Christina Ryan came down pit lane. And I think they've got to abandon that idea, and they're not. They're going to be lapped. Henderson does bail. Henderson bails out on the pit stop, so he will stay on the lead lap. I do believe. Christina Ryan coming down the pit lane and taking service. Worst case scenario, she is going to be the first car lap down, but she will need the wave around to take over that position. She was on pit lane, so she's not. She does get the position back. So she must have beat Blowers out of pit lane. Close call. Close call. That was a fuel-only stop for the one. So she's got to come back down pit lane anyway. Henderson entering a closed pit lane now for emergency service. He was about to run out of fuel. Remember, they came in early, so they had to come in early again. So they were about to run out of fuel. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And Henderson, thankfully, early pit stall for him. He will be in the 29th stall. And the leaders are coming down pit lane now. Second caution of the night. And this, it gives a lot of drivers reprieve. And checking to see who the free pass recipient was, it was Shad Swatsworth. Not sure what Bailey Thompson is doing. These are all cars that passed the pace car, but they are not on the free pass. They'll have to wait for the wave around to get to get back a lap here. These are all cars that pit early, and this was the danger. We talked about this during the first green flag pit stop cycle. Pitting early leaves you susceptible to being penned a lap down here, and that's what we're seeing right now. So Blowers cements himself as the race leader, but now has to hold on to the short run pace that Hunter Peach has the advantage in. Caitlin Height, Byron Jones, Bren Roberts, Josh Arnold. Very interesting to see how this all plays out here. Josh Susie's no longer top 10. He's down. Well, sorry, he is. No. Oh, trouble. Trouble. Susie spins. Susie is spun. Trying to exit the pit lane. Absolute insanity on the second caution of the night with coming to 35 to go. We'll take a look here. Not a lot to say about what happened to Patrick Oberstadt here. Looking from high above, not a lot better picture than that. Eli Sasek drifts up the racetrack and just completely just tags the 88. And tags him again for good measure and sends it for a ride. No contact with the wall on either side, which was the immediate concern seeing the 88 in the grass. He avoids that minor damage from the contact with Sasek. See if we can get a better look at that. Maybe a look from further away, because I feel like we're at a microscope level here. That is a pretty aggressive move up the racetrack. I'm not sure why. Unless Sasek has had issues here. We're getting ready to go back racing here. So we'll take this is going to be the last look at it here. It looks like Sasek's reacting to Christina Ryan coming down pit lane here. And he just drifts up the racetrack, but because the tires are so old, it just shoots dead left on him. Or dead right on him, excuse me. Yeah, you can see Sasek's wheels. His hands are turned left. He's trying to avoid Oberstadt there. But because there's just no grip on that right front tire, because the tires are so worn, he just can't do anything to avoid the 88 at that point. It's a rocket. You just can't control it at that point. So here we go. Second restart of the night. Does this breed chaos, or do we get to see the race finish under green? 34 to go. We're back underway. And Susie in trouble. Down at the bottom of the racetrack. Flowers leads 3 wide behind him. And he swerves down the bottom of the racetrack trying to break the draft IndyCar strat. Again, Blauer's not bound for a title. That's right now in the hands of Hunter Peach, and right now, Hunter Peach is alone on that title conversation. He just got to keep it clean. Do not get involved in incidents here. I know the race win's important if you're Hunter Peach. If you're DJ Anderson, Byron Jones does not matter to you. Bobby Blowers does not matter to you. Your championship contenders are not in your conversation. They are not top 10. They are not top 15 at the moment. Let it go. If you're DJ Anderson, you were on that pit box and you were telling Hunter Peach, protect your car. And that's what we're getting right now. Byron Jones giving chase to Bobby Blowers here. Hunter Peach now settling in that third position ahead of Bren Roberts and Caitlin Height, but sitting in that third spot at the moment. At this point, he is now well aware of where everyone in that title conversation is. He knows where Blake Henderson's at. Henderson's stuck a lap down. You've got Josh Susie down in 16th place. You have Casey Wygant 2 laps down. Right now, you know that it is you and nobody else in that conversation. Just keep it clean. Coming to 30 laps to go. Keep it clean these next 30 laps, and you're a champion for the first time in the HTL Cup Series. After breaking a winless route over 18 months, just a week ago to put himself at the front of the conversation for the title. He now sits alone, front and center at the top of the board. It is an enormous weight. It is an enormous weight that DJ Anderson, his team owner, NFG Motorsports, has to work with and tell him, hey, that weight doesn't mean anything because the weight is on the shoulders of everyone behind you. It's on Josh Soucy. It's on Blake Henderson. It's on Pacey Wygant of the one that got away. You've got to talk a driver off the cliff sometimes, away from chaos. He wanted to dig in. He wanted to battle Blowers. He wanted to battle Byron Jones. You have to tell him, hey, mind your P's and Q's. Third place is still champion because no one in front of you is important to that conversation. Bren Roberts, points out of the mathematic equation. Bren Roberts, not in the conversation. Ignore the gold on the banner. Ignore the gold numbers. He is out of the mathematic equation. He cannot point his way in to the title tonight. He's not your fight. Kalen Height, not your fight. You have to talk to the driver in that way, and you have to tell him that constantly, like, hey, you're good. Right now, you are good. You are golden. You have 12 positions the advantage, and Soucy has to beat you by 8. This is the lowest that Hunter Peach has been all night. You're good. You've got to talk that into Hunter Peach so hard right now because if you're not familiar to this conversation, if you're not familiar to this position, to the weight, to the pressure of it, it is very easy to let it get to you. This was a driver that had to backdoor his way into the championship conversation, had to backdoor his way into the playoffs to begin with, had an abysmal start of the season, one of the worst starts I've seen Hunter Peach have ever. It took a long time for Hunter Peach to recover from the rough start he had this season, and it seemed like it was setback after setback. He backdoored his way in, no wins entering the playoffs. Had to get in on points, was the 16th and last driver in. Did better in the playoffs. Points his way through, nothing to write home about. Didn't say his name, hardly at all, in that 5-race run in the round of 16. He was just there, consistent enough to be top 8. You turn on the Jets in the final 3 races, and here you are. You win a week ago to put yourself top of the board by a singular point over a teammate that has done this twice already. He beat you in stage 1, got you level, but then you hold firm and get him by 8 points in stage 2. He falls apart in stage 3. Now in 14th position with it all to do over the next 25 laps and change. And you have the position game and the points advantage to where it doesn't matter right now. Just do your thing. Do what you've done all night tonight. That's where he's at right now. And Josh Soucy is the only other driver in this conversation right now that has a mathematical chance and still can fight. Blake Henderson a lap down, Pacey Wygant a lap down. Their championship hopes are over right now. They need a miracle of biblical proportions. And we just haven't seen that type of race tonight. This is not a Talladega. This is not a Daytona. This is not an Atlanta. We've seen 2 cautions. One on lap 17 and one approaching lap 90. Lap 17 to lap 89, and there's the 3rd caution of the race, and that is Josh Arnold. And that's what you start becoming afraid of if you're anyone at this point, is drivers losing control of their race car. Josh Arnold on his own 3rd caution of the night for the Militia Racing Club driver. And now you start having reason to panic. You tell Hunter Peach to do his job, to just do what he's been doing all night. Now you start. Now if you're on the pit box, if you're DJ Anderson, now you start overthinking a little bit because now you put everyone back together again, and that is not what you want to see. Because this is a racetrack that, despite what we've seen so far tonight, can still produce a lot of chaos, and there could be some gremlins to that. So let's take a look at what happened to Josh Arnold to cause our third yellow of the night. And it looks like it's right in front of Caitlin Height, the 61. Caitlin Height gets into him, drifts at the racetrack, and tags the 12. Oh, and she hits the wall pretty hard, too, on the rebound there. And that's pure concrete right there. Right in front of Zach Apperson. Everyone trying to avoid hitting the 12 and hitting the 61. And Caitlin Height with a little bit of damage now on that 61 car. It looks like she hit it pretty flush. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of damage on that 61 car. Down pit lane, obviously, for repairs to see how much does need to be done. Josh Arnold, not a lot of damage at all. He's backing away. And Caitlin Height, a little bit of damage on that 61 car, especially on that left, that right front. But should be repairable given the circumstances. Pressure is on now. 2-tire stop for Josh Soucy. Hunter Peach took 4. Only other person that took 2 tires is Eli Sasek. And the 2-tire stop has not worked tonight so far. It did not work for Pacey Wygen earlier. Ultimately, he ended up a lap down, spitting out. So the concern would be, is this going to happen to Josh Soucy? Soucy needed to do something. You see the cars about to get a wave around here. That is Henderson, Ryan, Scott, and Bailey Thompson, I believe, all trying to get a wave around to get back on the lead lap here. And that is indeed going to be the case. So that will give us 24 cars back on the lead lap by the time this is all said and done. So Josh Soucy, your race leader at the moment. Hunter Peach right there will be alongside his teammate at the front of the field. These two have battled really hard. And again, if you're Hunter Peach, you do not need to beat Josh Soucy. You don't even... You can be right behind him and still be champion. You've got an 8-point buffer. You have done your job to get to this point. Soucy can win the race. Second, third, or fourth, that's champion for Hunter Peach right now. Obviously, you want to win the race. If you're a driver, you want to win the race. It's easier said than done. But you've got to have discipline here, and you got to know the championship's more important than a race win. Do not take a 16th when you have a second or a third or a fourth in your hand and a title to go with it. It is Soucy's job to try to do something heroic here. Peach has just got to keep that car on the racetrack and keep it clean. And that's important to say because these two raced each other biblically hard in stage 1 and stage 2. These two raced each other extremely hard in those first 2 stages. And then it fell apart for Josh Soucy, and Hunter Peach walked away from him. The same thing can happen here. Soucy's got the advantage. He's got track position right now. He took 2 tires. And 2 tires, we've seen it happen 3 times already this weekend. It worked for nobody. We'll see how this pans out this time. 3rd caution, 3rd restart. Coming to 21 laps to go. We're not in Las Vegas. This isn't hitting blackjack. But Josh Soucy needs a little bit more than luck to go racing here. Green flag flies once again here in Fontana. Really good restart there for Soucy. Peach, very careful, very timid on that restart. Side by side, Roberts and Blowers. Blowers had the best long run car. We are now at the point where long run pace does not matter. You are not getting the full 36 lap window to let that long run car show. Was that trouble further back? Yes, it was. Trouble further back. Car in the fence is Henderson. And if the dream wasn't dead for Blake Henderson, it is now. I'm not sure if anyone else was attached to him here on this, but he's got definite damage on that right front. Very telltale on that black horse, on that dark horse Mustang. So let's take a look. And this is John Matthews on the bottom of the racetrack. Everyone's keeping an eye on him. Oh, does he get tagged by his teammate? He 100% does. That's Henderson getting tagged by Christina Ryan. Oh, no. That's rule number 1. Don't wreck your teammate. We'll get a better look at that. We'll look at it in full speed. We'll look at it from the spotter cam. Yeah, Christina Ryan just drifts up the racetrack and just tags him. Teammate on teammate violence. We've seen that before. There wasn't a lot of hope for Henderson. He was hoping to not be a part of chaos, just to have a chance. But that's not what you're looking for. But now the nightmare is that Pacey Wygent's back on lead lap 2. Free pass goes to Pacey Wygent, 4th caution of the night. So Josh Susie leads the way. And then it's Byron Jones, Hunter Peach, and Bobby Blowers, your top 4 at the moment. And we'll show you points, lower right side of your screen. That's after stage points. That is going into, exiting stage 2. This is not as they run at the moment. This is just as they exited stage 2. So Hunter Peach with an 8-point advantage. Pacey Wygent has a lot of work to do, and having spent most of stage 3 a lap down, seems unlikely, not impossible. Again, we are less than 20 laps to go here in Fontana, a racetrack with 5 lanes in infinite grip, until there's not. And then Blake Henderson, obviously we saw him involved here. Now, it really needs a miracle here. If I'm looking at the points right, I think he's actually mathematically out of the running altogether. Yeah, he's 40 points out, and there's only 30 cars in the field, and there's not 30 runners. Yeah, Henderson's out. Henderson is out of the running for the points anyway, so he can't be champion this year no matter what. So it's down to 3. Wygent, Susie, chasing Hunter Peach. There you go. For those tuning in live, we will have extended post-race coverage here on Patreon. The link is in the live Twitch chat, and it's also available, if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, in the description down below. We will talk to the champion, we'll talk to the podium finishers like normal during this broadcast on Twitch, extended interviews, and post-race coverage, ABN Victory Lane on Patreon after this show. Josh Susie, Byron Jones, Bobby Blowers, Hunter Peach, Ben Roberts, your top 5. The pressure is on Josh Susie and Pacey Wygent more than it is Hunter Peach. Hunter Peach needs to stay top 8 here. That is the concern here. He is restarting this race in 3rd. Remember, Josh Susie, 2-tire stop for him. Everyone else took 4 except for Eli Sasek. Sasek already fell out of the top 10. 24 on the lead lap. 25 still circulating on the racetrack. Caitlin Height 4 laps down. 4th restart underway. We're back racing. Green flag flies here in Fontana. 17 to go. Peach on the bottom of the racetrack. Byron Jones in the middle. Side by side, no major concerns there. Blowers goes over under on Bren Roberts there for the 4th spot. Remember, Bobby Blowers had one of the best long run cars. We are at the point now where long run pace means nothing. It's how fast can you sprint? A lot of cars in the fence there. A lot of sparks flying off that wall. Peach sitting in that third spot. We'll zoom out a little bit so you can see some of the chaos here. Down the back straightaway, a sea of cars. Hunter Peach has one of the best short-run cars in the field. This suits his car right now, the 20. Got away from Blowers, cautions out, 5th time. And this time, it's the 1. Christina Ryan in trouble, spun around. I'm not seeing a lot of damage on that car. But around she went. So Christina in trouble after finishing 3rd in the HTL Cup Series race here last night. 5th caution in the start-stop nature will add to the nerves at the front of the field. Here's what happened to the former ABN world champion from 4 years ago. She comes out of turn number 4. Does she get tagged? It starts ahead of her. That's Steven Oberstadt, 3. It's not even Christina Ryan that brings out the yellow. It's Steven Oberstadt that does. So we'll grab a different look at that. Christina just went through the grass to avoid it. Smart move. That's why she didn't have any damage on her car either. It's because she didn't really get involved in it. So let's take a look then at Steven Oberstadt. And let's look at it from the bump cam. And that tells the tale. He gets tagged in the corner by Brady Smith. The Ascent cars have washed out bad tonight. Saw it with Pacey Wygant. He spins, ends up tagging the wall, goes a lap down, is what ruined his race initially. Eli Sassik's done it, and now we see Brady Smith, the 95, doing it as well. Slow motion here. ABN quarter speed. Brady Smith, bottom of the racetrack. Steven Oberstadt in that middle lane. And Brady Smith just washes out. Drifts up the racetrack on the exit. Oberstadt's already leaving. He's already tracking out, but Brady Smith's tracking out harder. And Steven Oberstadt gets turned for his troubles. 33 of Dale Markowski almost gets a piece of it there. Tags the wall to avoid hitting Brady Smith. You see from the blimp cam, everyone manages to get around the 3 car there without any trouble. But could have been disaster. So Christina Ryan, close call, went lawn mowing, but survives and sits now in the 15th position. Steven Oberstadt down in 22nd. You saw that during the replay. Looks like now actually going to be sitting in the 21st spot. Yeah, 21st. And we get to do this battle again. Susie Jones, front of the field. Peach and Blowers in row 2. Roberts and Apperson, row 3. A little bit of latency there from Blowers. Under caution, no big deal. Under green flag with less than 15 to go, pretty big deal. Olivia Pereira's top 10 for the first time in what feels like a century. Dale Markowski in 8th. Chad Spotsworth in 9th. 10th place, Eli Sassick. Then Alfred Denny, Ross Baxter, Tucker Sawyer, Patrick Oberstadt, Christina Ryan, your top 15. John Matthews, Bailey Thompson, Jason Scott, Brady Smith, Josh Arnold, your top 20. 24 cars on lead lap. Steven Oberstadt, Callie Height, Blake Henderson, and Pacey Wygant at the tail end of the lead lap field. And then laps down at the moment, now 3 laps down, is Caitlin Height. Lights out on the pace car, which means that we are going green this time by with 12 laps to go. And remember, I've been hammering this home this entire stage, especially since the last couple cautions. Hunter Peach can finish 7th or better with Josh Susie winning and still be champion. 3rd place, plenty enough right now. We will see how that goes over the next few laps here in California. We're glad you're with us here for HTL and ABN as we conclude Season 7 and get ready for Season 8 when it comes around in May. Josh Susi feels the pressure. The former two-time champion looking for his third. It feels like it's a mile away. The green flag flies. The fifth restart is underway. We're racing in Fontana. Susi got a really good restart. Enough to pull away. But it's all for naught at the moment. They'll catch him back up on the back straightaway. The question is, will it be Byron Jones or will it be Hunter Peach? Peach up to second. It is a dog-eat-dog world. At the front of the field, trouble. Apperson. And a huge crash. Enormous crash. Sixth caution of the night. And it's a huge one from the front of the field. Swatsworth got a piece of it. Pereira got a piece of it. It started with Apperson getting turned. Markowski's in the fence. His day is effectively over. Sixth caution. Fourth in stage 3 alone. This will give Kaylin Height another lap back. She will go to 2 laps down after having to get repairs earlier in this stage. And we get to break this one down. This one's going to be pretty aggressive. And it starts with Zach Apperson, who is now on the pit lane. Sixth yellow. And it starts between Zach Apperson and Bren Roberts. We'll actually have to zoom out and get a better look at this and see what happens here. See if we can get a better look here from high above. There we go. Decent look. Chopper cam for the first time tonight instead of the blimp cam. The 4 Apperson, the 83 of Bren Roberts. They're center of your screen, dead center of your screen. Apperson has the advantage. Not really a good lane there for Bren Roberts to use. Just gets on the throttle earlier. It's hard to really kind of excuse that one. He gets on throttle earlier, but there's not a lane there for Roberts to run unless he goes below the white line, and he never really tries to do that. You see Pereira gets tagged. Markowski gets clobbered by that. Swatsworth gets clipped. That's where Ross Baxter gets a piece. And you see the trouble that happens here as everything kind of spills out. Swatsworth almost clips Overstat. Brady Smith, Pacey Wygant, they have to navigate their way through. Caitlin Height well behind the action there will get the free pass pretty easily. Then now you see several cars on pit lane. Those on pit lane include Pacey Wygant with some extended work being done. Olivia Pereira, as we saw there earlier, and Chad Swatsworth along with Zach Apperson at this point in time. Sixth caution underway here, and we are trimming down the laps. This helps out Josh Susi in that 2-tire strategy. He won't have to worry about those left side tires giving away with less than 10 laps to go. However, it doesn't help him because it leaves less room for Hunter Peach to be affected by something. At the front of the field, being there in third, you kind of have to force it yourself, and that I've not seen Josh Susi go that far in his career. But as we mentioned, it is dog-eat-dog world, and when a championship is in your reach, your vision, your judgment blurs. It is you become surprised at the person you become chasing glory. We'll be going green with 8 laps to go here in California to end out the season. First couple stages, really all the way until lap 90, I would have told you that we would see this to the end under green. Now, I'm not so sure. Your top two in the championship, first and third. Peach has the advantage. As it sits, he has the advantage by 6 points. And that's enough at the moment. We'll see if that changes. Pace car will take the left-hand turn. Sixth restart coming up here tonight. The restart zone, the green flag flies. Away we go. Car spun immediately. Patrick Oberstadt was a spinner. We stay green. Good restart there by Peach. Stayed right there on his teammate's bumper. Byron Jones, outside lane, trying to grab his first career race win. He's been in this position so many times, and it's been ripped out of his hands late. Side by side, it is Blowers and Peach for third. Down through turns 1 and 2 this time. 7 to go. Peach goes topside. Clean real estate, clean air. Sassy tried to make a pass happen, couldn't do it. Blowers trying to find some short run pace, something that has been lacking on that 71 car tonight. They battle in front of him. He's going to have a good run out of 4. He wants to keep that 24 in his sight line. 6 to go. Susie trying to break the draft a little bit here. Peach hooked right up to the bumper there, Byron Jones. He wants the outside lane. He wants to stay there. That's where he feels the most comfortable. Easy to understand why. It's so clean and empty up there in the corners. Everyone else running the bottom of the racetrack. He gets the giant run out of turn 4 there to get around Blowers and back up into third. He stays topside there. A little bit of latency on the server side. But we stay green, we stay good. 5 laps to go. And you see the smorgasbord of cars behind. Trouble, Cali Height. And hard in the fence. We stay green, car off the racetrack. It was off the nose of Josh Arnold. Peach to third. Would like to find a way around Byron Jones. Jones trying to chase the draft a little bit here. Jones bottom of the racetrack. Peach stays further to the top. Now drifts to the middle of the racetrack there through 3 and 4 because they're no longer battling. Flowers is down to 5th. 3 to go. Less than 6 miles as it sits. Hunter Peach grabbing his first career title. Cars all over the fence. A caution now would be devastating if you're Hunter Peach. You're hoping for anything else. Blake Henderson's recovered in the top 10. Unfortunately, mathematically, he is out of the championship conversation. Did not score enough stage points to do anything in that conversation. 2 laps to go, though. It's a tale of what could have been. It's still a case of what can be for Hunter Peach. His teammate leads the way, trying to put the pressure on for the title. 8 points the gap after stage 2. Everyone chasing the slipstream down the back straightaway. Peach up near the fence this time. Stays up there. Ripping the fence. He's looking for a way around Byron Jones. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Presented by Southern Cleaning Company. Door to door for second. Peach tagged the fence a little bit. It's going to let Byron Jones get clear for that second spot. He tried to give it a little bit too much. At a turn 4 for the final time, Josh Soucy's going to win the race. But for the first time in his career, Hunter Peach is an HTL Cup Series champion. Soucy's the winner. Peach is champion in Season 7. Hunter Peach is champion. For the first time. He did enough in stage 1, in stage 2. 8 points the gap. Josh Soucy celebrating the race win. Seven points. Being a major difference tonight. And Hunter Peach is champion of the HTL Cup Series. Josh Soucy, the race winner. Not enough to win the title. We'll hear from our race winner. We'll hear from second place Byron Jones. We'll hear from our champion, Hunter Peach. An outstanding race. Hunter Peach did everything he needed to do in this race to become a champion. The nightmare season ends on the happiest of notes. For the 20 car, and NFG Motorsports grabs a championship at the very end with two teammates battling for it throughout. An outstanding race. Peach, obviously, the emotions are there. We'd love to talk to him. We'll talk. See if we can talk. We want to talk to the champion. Obviously, normally we have the champion best for last. We will interview the champion at first here to grab immediate thoughts and reactions for the new champion of the HTL Cup Series. Entering this race 1 point in advance. You get an 8-point buffer at a stage 2, and you do enough to grab the title at the very end. Hunter Peach, walk us through the emotions and the feelings. You are champion, finally.
Thank you, Carmen. It feels surreal, to be honest, you know, with our backs against the wall every round and every race. But first, I just want to shout out Soucy for giving me a good car. The car was rocket fast. I mean, finally won our first pole and ever in this league, so that was a good start. And then just from the minute like the long runs hit, the car was just good. And then was able just to keep the points at bay. And then Soucy kind of gave me a little bit of scare there, and I had to battle Byron and everybody pretty strong. So, but no, it feels very surreal, and glad to get a G there second.
You talk about the season as it was. You're back against the wall. That was the narrative all season long. Your season started terribly, and it was setback after setback to start off the season. You backdoor your way in, one of the last ones through the door to get into the round of 16, and you stay under the radar in that 5-race round to get into the championship 8, to turn on the pressure this late. Talk about the effort that went into these last 3 races to put yourself in that conversation. You had been written off well in advance to this round even starting, to not only grab a race win for the first time in 18 months last week, to put yourself at the top of the board, to now grab your championship with a 3rd place finish tonight. What effort took place in these last 3 weeks to give you the ability to go after the championship this way when we hadn't been able to see that from the 20 car all season long?
I think just believe in myself and realize that I'm still a good driver, as I say I am, but even though I'm not. Obviously, I knew it was there. The talent's never slipped away from me. And it's just like a podcast I listened to today. It was, you know, you can have all the talent, but talent only gets you so far. It's more just the mental. So I feel like I got in my head enough times, and just these last 2 races, just shut up and just drive the car. And it's paid off big time, you know. But obviously, like you said, being the last one in the playoffs, back was against the wall, regular season, missed opportunities to win, and then going into the round of 12, we were the last ones to get in as well. So I mean, it's kind of just been in out, but it hasn't really been terrible. There's been wins that slipped away, but obviously these last 2 races for sure has shown what this 20 car is capable of.
Champion of the HTL Cup Series for the first time, an important moment for you. Obviously, we saw you jump in when we jumped in the broadcast HTL back in season 3, almost 4 years ago. It's been a long journey. You talk about how much the championship means to you now. Now it's all about defending it. What is next for Hunter Peach and that 20 team going into season 8 when it starts up in May?
Honestly, I don't even know. iRace is not on the horizon for me. As much as I would like to defend the title, half me is like, I play iRacing, but not enough. So it's kind of just like, weigh the options, see, do I still want to keep doing sim racing? Do I just want to just take a break from it? I mean, I've stepped away a couple times, kind of just took mental and just, but then there's times I miss it. So, maybe there might be one-off races, maybe every once in a while. But obviously I don't know that goal yet. But the championship means a lot to me. Obviously after the last 2 years of having a good season and being so close yet so far within like range of even just making the Final Four before we went to this points format. We've missed it by 5 points, we missed it by 3. So, it kind of just first opportunity at a title and we seal the deal, go 1 for 1, so can't be mad with that. And, back in 4 years ago when I first started this, when Meredith got me in here, when I first drove for Energy, to come out here and win my first race at Auto Club and to get my first title at Auto Club, it's just surreal. It's kind of just like a full circle moment, you say the least. So it's good to celebrate the same spot, and then obviously like going almost 1-2 with the NFG car, just how me and Meredith did when Meredith win his title. So as a whole, I look at it as really a positive just for the whole team. And I'm going to share this trophy with them.
An outstanding job for Hunter Peach, recovering from the regular season, getting into the round of 16, making to the championship 8, and going lights out over the last 3 races here, breaking the winless drought, and now a champion of the HTL Cup Series. Before we let you go and fully celebrate a triumphant achievement here, if there's anyone want to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Being able to see you over the last 5 years grow as a driver, everyone here at ABN extremely proud of you. But if there's anyone you shout out in particular, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Well, I did want to shout out ABN. ABN's been a big partnership in this, and still waiting to get that first IndyCar win on y'all's side. So it's been pretty close. That's another one I want to check off for sure. Fontana could have been another one with that, but that's another time. Obviously, want to shout out NFG, Sosi, Smil, DJ for putting up with me all year, and especially Sosi and Smil for so much of the help they done all year with the setups. As soon as we moved to open setups, I would have been nothing without them. They taught me so much, took me underneath their wing. And without Sosi doing what Sosi does and just being the best driver there is out there, give me a car I'm able to drive, and knowing I ain't got to do too much with it. But, and then obviously want to shout out Blake for allowing me to be in this league and being here for this long, for 4 years, like you said. Everybody back at all my friends, Josh Arnold, Zach Meredith, Pacey. Feel really bad what happened to him. I don't know if I got him arrow loose or I hit him. If I did, that's not how I wanted to go. I enjoyed the battle with Sosi and Pacey all 3 races. It was just phenomenal. Had to bring my best A game, so props to them for, whoever won it, well deserved. Shout out my girlfriend for, believing in me and just supporting me and telling me that I got it. And then D&M Pilot Service, NJB Designs for being on the car, designing it. Glad we can get him back in the champion circle. He paints a lot of people that have won championships in iRacing, so to get him another one is really special.
A phenomenal job for Hunter Peach, champion of Season 7 here in the HTL Cup Series. He has climbed the summit after a phenomenal battle all night long. It was never lower than 4th under green flag conditions, and that consistency mattered the most here tonight. Hunter, congratulations. Go celebrate, and hopefully we get to see you around the bend here very shortly.
Thank you. I imagine you'll see me. I'm not going to disappear on you. So, like I said, if there is maybe one-off races, but for right now, it's not looking like full-time. I think I've done everything I basically need to do on iRacing. I've driven Indy cars. I've driven dirt. I mean, I'm at that point in life where I'm just like, do I want to keep doing this? I think you've been there, so I mean,
it's a reason I'm behind the microphone now. I completely understand.
Hey, I thought about doing that too, so I mean, who knows? I mean, but all in all, I really appreciate it, so, and all what y'all do.
Phenomenal job, Hunter Peach, champion of the HTL Cup Series here in Season 7. Hunter, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
That was Hunter Peach, your champion here in Season 7. A phenomenal run here for the field. We have 2 more interviews coming up here on Twitch. We'll do other interviews, more extended coverage on Patreon. The link is pinned in the live chat or in the description if you're watching this on demand on Patreon. ABN Victory Lane debuting tonight after the race. That being said, we do have some more interviews coming. It is going to be that of Byron Jones that we talked to here. 2nd place finisher. Hunter Peach finished 3rd. We'll talk to Byron Jones, our 2nd place finisher here tonight. Byron, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You finally get one of these results you've had the car for. Bad luck finally off your shoulders here at the end of the season. Walk us through it. The car's been fast. It's just bad luck in stage 3. This time, no such thing. 2nd place tonight.
It was actually pretty great, and you mentioned bad luck. Actually, towards the end of the race, just got it fixed. My clutch was starting to blow out on me. So, I mean, the car was fast. It really was. The setup, everything was to a T. It was everything I could ask for out of the car, and sort of went in with a different mentality, which was instead of trying to push off the starts like I typically try to do to gain advantages or try to move up through the field quick, it was, okay, let's try something different. We'll back up and let the car come to me. And it sure did tonight. It felt great about 10 laps into the run, and then from there it was just staying smooth. That I think even if it went green, we still would have had a good contention for maybe 2nd or 1st. It was just the only thing that struggled for me was qualifying, but it's a good momentum boost heading in the next season.
Obviously, you talk about how fast this car has been. You've had an amazing team behind you throughout the season. Obviously, Zach Meredith, former champion of the series, being able to be there alongside you in that 17 car. You talk about next season. the pace that you had this season was hard to ignore. Um, what do you take from this season, looking at that pace, to try to probably improve here going into the next season? Obviously, missing out on the playoffs stings a little bit given the pace the 60 car had. What do you take to kind of improve on, knowing that the competition is just going to get harder? Looking at the silly season as it is right now, seeing teams like Delta Sport that may be coming in, full on esports teams coming in. How do you improve on your side to try to shore up some of those areas and minimize the area that bad luck can strike?
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to patience. That's one thing that I noticed about midway through the season. Sometimes I lacked was patience. Found myself caught up with a few people, even just because of my own misdoings. Just got to have a little bit more patience, which we can definitely do that. And then just taking time to the sim, continuously running, keep doing what we need to, run some officials during the off season, just make sure we can also better understand the custom setups, because if they're here to stick around, I'm going to have to know what to do a little bit more when it comes to in race changes, which is very crucial, especially for tracks that start in day and end at night. You got to know what to do with the car based off of what you have. So I think it's still learning the car. And at the end of the day, you can know everything about the car, but there's still something more to learn. And I think us as a team can definitely, or myself as a driver rather, can definitely take a little bit more to the setups and figure out what we can do and help our team succeed into the following season.
A phenomenal job finally breaking through and getting the result the 60 car has shown it has been capable of throughout the entire playoffs, and even before that, going through the late last year before the new year. Second place, congratulations on that effort. Before I let you go, and obviously let you celebrate a great end to a strong showing season for the 60 camp, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. It's been fun seeing you back on the racetrack this season. I know you were here, took some time away, and came back. Phenomenal job coming back and being competitive, and hopefully we get to see more steps forward for the 60 camp here next season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Carmen, first off, for everything you have done this season. It's really meaned a lot to HTL and all of us drivers. So thank you, especially for everything that you are going through. We are behind you, whatever you need. And second off, shout out CCR. I mean, Angel being able to take me on and allow me back into HTL with the full season ride. It was nice to be able to have a little bit more security than what we've had before, and finally getting to run a full-time season with the big boys is definitely huge. So, and then as well as shout out to Zach, Jay Shad, Mark, a few others as well. They've been huge help throughout the season, just sort of helping me find my balance and everything. And lastly, Blake. I mean, we wouldn't be HTL without having Blake help us on the inside, and of course, you helping us on the outside. So, thank you guys so much.
A phenomenal job, a team effort to get that number 2 car where it deserved to be. Your second place tonight in Fontana, California. Looking already towards season 8 when it begins in May. Byron Jones, a potential playoff contender come next season. Congratulations on the second place, and hopefully we get to talk to you a lot more once we get into the summertime.
Thank you again, Carmen. Yes, hopefully.
That was Byron Jones, your second place finisher here tonight, presented by ABN Studios on Patreon. QR code as well as the live link, obviously, in the live chat and the description if you're watching this on YouTube. We have one more interview. We'll be doing more interviews. Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson, Eli Sasek, and others will be available on Patreon here coming up after we talk to Josh Susie, your race winner here tonight. Race Wing interview presented by Henderson Graphics, NASCAR quality paint schemes without paying NASCAR quality prices. Pro looks, pro appearances, amazing paint schemes all throughout the field. You see a couple of them on your screen already. Henderson Graphics, the QR code helps you get in shape here in 2026 and get you looking good on the racetrack. Josh Susie, our race winner, missing out on his third championship, heartbreaking fashion, 2 points. We talk about heartbreaking devastation. some feelings shared away from the racetrack, away from audio. We'll dive into that a little bit here. Josh Susie, though, a phenomenal effort doing everything you needed to do. Let's walk through this race. Obviously, entered a point behind, grabbed this first stage win to put yourself level. What happened in stage two that kind of put the advantage back in Hunter Peach's hand tonight?
Uh, car was tight, and I had a bad pit cycle. Uh, Everyone pit with however many laps before the end of stage two. I mean, that was on me. Ended up P9 in the stage. The other thing I could try to do is win the race, which I did, but that almost didn't happen because when we had that yellow in stage three, I spun off pit road, panicked, and was trying to get my spots back on the apron and knocked Stefan Overstat out onto the track and gave him a black flag. And, I apologized to him. And we got that all squared away anyway, and I didn't use my brain. It's like, hey, just wait till the backstretch, you can get all your spots back. But it's just a moment of panic, and I can see everything slipping away, even though I kind of rationalized with myself at the end of stage two. The battle for the championship is basically over, unless Hunter absolutely faulted. But yeah, so I gave myself an EOL on that restart, dropped all the way to the tail of the field, like 21st or whatever. It picked back up to like 14th or something before we had that caution. Took two, I guess Eli sped on pit exit because he had gotten out right in front of me and gave me the lead, and just kind of didn't look back. I did everything I could besides taking the outside line to really try to box in Hunter and cost him some spots. But, that's my teammate, and as selfish as I want to be, I wasn't going to do that to him. I was going to give him a fair shake and a fair chance. He drove his ass off, and he earned it despite all my extenuating circumstances tonight and last week.
And obviously, you look at last week, the difference that last week made. Obviously, the drama that sort of just comes out of that. Obviously, some feelings obviously felt. We saw the repercussions of that. Marquez and Weather suspended. We'll miss the Daytona 500 next season as well. You talk about just the position that you were in from there. Was there any change in how you approached this race, given how last Monday went, or was the game plan still kind of run the same and just do what you needed to do? Was the race win always sort of just the bingo card you needed to fill out?
Uh, no, it definitely changed it because I went from, one back to I would have been anywhere from 8 to 15 points ahead, depending on how that race played out. Me and Peach were neck and neck. Either one of us could have won it, and that would have swung the points either way. I think we would have finished 1-2. So, thank God they wrecked on the final lap and I was able to get 11th. That saved me 7 points right there. But, what I lost didn't outweigh what I got lucky with at the end. So it definitely changed the approach. I had no wiggle room at all tonight, to where I could have just, won stage one and then settled for a top five in stage two without messing up on pit road. And even if I had messed up on pit road, like I did, that point differential, we probably would have been just about tied, instead of that putting me 8 behind him. So, if that would have been the case and I would have been able to win, obviously that would have been championship number 3. But yeah, it changed the approach, and it is what it is. Peach just did a better job tonight.
The rumors continue to circulate. Silly season begins in earnest now that the season is over for season 7. The rumors beginning to circulate that you might be Chevrolet bound once again in season 8. What are season 8's plans? If you feel like you're able to give us a little bit of an insight as to what next season holds for obviously still one of HTL's all-time greats.
Well, yeah. I'm getting a little nauseous. This kind of feels like last year how I lost the championship, leading and getting wrecked. I gotta digest this. I will say officially, I have no commitment to anybody for next season. If I do come back, I'm a free agent. I'm not opposed to run any manufacturer, and I will say the only one I haven't run yet is Ford. So we'll see, you know, how many days it takes me to get over this, and then who comes knocking at my door, and what kind of rule changes there are for HTL for next season. That's always a big factor. I think the league as a whole took a really good step this year with the open setups, and some of the changes, uh, getting rid of some bad apples, so to speak. And I know some people don't necessarily like the open setups, which I understand, but I do feel like it promoted a more fairness to the racing where people can adjust their vehicles. There's plenty of shops out there that have them for sale, or you can get them for free, or if you can get on a team with somebody that knows how to tweak setups, that's all it takes. And if I can just convince Blake to not run any night races because this car sucks at night, and run every race at noon at 120 track temp, I think we'll be golden. So officially for next season, no commitment as of yet. The door is open. I'm fielding all offers to accept or deny, but we'll see.
A lot up in the air, but we do know that Josh Susie is still one of the all-time greats in the HTL Cup Series, grabbing another race win. 16 career wins now in the HTL Cup Series for Josh Susie. Before we let you go, let you celebrate your race win, celebrate the team championship as a whole. The NFG Motorsports looking massive here tonight. Before we let you go celebrate and obviously decompress, obviously 2 points shy is a heartbreaker no matter how you want to look at it. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to throughout the season, the floor is yours. Congratulations on a phenomenal season, despite how the last couple weeks have gone.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And we'll change it up a little bit. And first and foremost, I want to say congrats to Hunter. He did what he needed to do. He was better than me tonight, and he finished the job and got the championship. That's nothing else I can say about it. So good job, man. Appreciated having you as a teammate all year. Um, I know I may have taught you a couple of things more than I should have, and you took advantage of it, but you were definitely better tonight. So good job. Uh, Nitro setups, as always, great pieces of equipment, real fast. I throw my flare in there and give it a little extra magic, and the team as a whole was awesome tonight. I know David got caught up in some stuff. I think he just tried to self clear out of two, but he was running top five all race. So I think we showed, as usual, a real competitive stable of vehicles and great teamwork as always. And I appreciate everyone all season long. Thank you, DJ, for sending me that offer and let me drive this vehicle all year. I'm happy that we were able to get a 1-2 for you. And all the admins for their hard work behind the scenes. Appreciate you. Everyone that showed up tonight, I think we had a pretty decent car count. And you, as always, putting on the show, bringing life to our races, narrating everything for the audience. Couldn't do it without you. We really appreciate it. And I shout out all the haters in chat. I see you. When I watch the race replays, you got your wish. I didn't get the title. I won the race, though, so I'll take that little cherry on top. And if I do come back next year, I'll be looking forward to trying to prove you all wrong again.
Josh Susie with a chip on his shoulder, leaving season 7 with a race win. One of the most dominant qualifiers, one of the most dominant racers this season, 2 points shy at the very end of the season. Josh Susie, congratulations on a phenomenal season nonetheless, and hopefully we do get to see you back on the racetrack here when HTL Season 8 comes up in May. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carmen.
A phenomenal job here. We will end our Twitch broadcast with a little bit of a recap here of the running order at the end of the race. Again, more extended interviews coming up here on Patreon. Link is in the live chat in the description down below if you're watching this on demand on YouTube. Josh Susie, your race winner. Hunter Peach, your series champion in Season 7. Byron Jones, sandwiched in between the two teammates here tonight. We talked to all three on the podium. We'll talk to others. Eli Sasek, Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson. All three of them in the top 10. Bobby Blowers also in the top 10 tonight. We'll see if we can talk to all of them here tonight. Eli Sasek Bobby Blowers, Alfred Denny, another top 10 for him. Not running full-time is doing him wonders. His best season performance-wise to date. Another top 10 for him here in Fontana, ahead of Bailey Thompson, Christina Ryan, Steven Oberstadt, top 10. To end off his season. And the number 3, Chevrolet, Blake Henderson, taken out of the points equation in the stages, recovers to finish 10th after starting this race 29th, crashed in qualifying. It was an uphill fight from there. He will finish 10th ahead of Josh Arnold and Tucker Sawyer here in the top 12. 30 cars started this race, a phenomenal field to end off the season. John Matthews, Ross Baxter, Olivia Pereira, and Brady Smith, your top 16. Chad Swasworth, Jason Scott, Bren Roberts, Pacey Wygent, your top 20. Just outside the top 20, Callie Height wrecked late in the race here in Fontana. Not how she wanted her last race to go. We're going to miss seeing Callie on the racetrack, but we're glad to see her one last time here in California. Patrick Oberstadt, 22nd. He had a rough night at the end as well. Caitlin Height didn't quite get back on the lead lap. Could only get back to 23rd after getting damaged late in this race. Zach Apperson, 24th. Helping to headline some of the DNFs coming up here. Dale Markowski, Davis Mule Jr., Richard Odie, DJ Anderson, Zach Meredith, and Gary Donaldson not seeing the checkered flag here tonight for DJ Anderson. His race ultimately did not matter to him. His focus was on the championship and the race. He got both with different drivers. So double the accolades, double the celebration for NFG Motorsports tonight. His team celebrating success here in HTL once again. That'll do it from us here on Twitch for coverage of the HTL Cup Series finale in Fontana. Join us on Patreon here. We'll be live in less than 5 minutes time for ABN Victory Lane here from Fontana. Thank you all so much for joining us all season long from Daytona to Fontana and HTL. In case we don't see you on Patreon, we do have stuff coming up here over the weekend. We hope to see you there for that as well. This weekend, next Saturday, RX High Octane Racing, Saturday 8 p.m. right here on Twitch from No Limits, Texas. And in the Winslow Cup Series, they light it up from Thunder Valley. They go to Bristol on Sunday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. All of that right here on ABN. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay warm, stay dry if you're in the United States. A lot of rain coming up here throughout the week. A little bit of weather advice for the U.S. We'll see you on Patreon for Victory Lane. I'm Carmen Sienna on behalf of HTL, Henderson Graphics, Southern Cleaning Company, everyone here at ABN Studios. So long, everybody.